here. We'll see. You guys
All right, Sam, your first question will be from Chad Leistico.
Hi, Sam. Curious, a question that's kind of come up across college football is like, why play in bowl games? But obviously it's important to you. So can you kind of articulate why you wanted to play in this game on December 31st?
kind of one more opportunity to play with my boys. I've been here 4 years. I've given this program a lot, and it's given me more than I'd ever dreamed of since I've gotten here. And it's just really important to me to play one more time, throw on the black and gold and lay it all out there. We were talking about it in the team meeting this morning. If you're not 100%, then 100% invested, then we don't want you out there, because we want the guys out there going as hard as they can. And if you're here, you're in and you're invested. So I'm here and I want to be here. So.
All right, Sam, next question's from Tom Caker.
Hey, Sam, I wanted to ask you about the quarterbacks. It's different quarterbacks right now for you. What do you see from Joe and from Carson?
Yeah, he's kind of just getting his feet wet. Had the last couple of weeks to get acclimated, and I think he's feeling much more confident, especially in the huddle, the play calls, getting him in and out of the huddle. He's mobile, good on his feet, and yeah, we'll see what he can do. It's going to be fun.
Next question is from Scott Docterman.
Sam, how are you?
Doing well, Scott. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I guess I want to know how things are coming along for you. Since the last time you got hurt, I guess the temperature is about the same as it is outside, but what all have you had to go through, and how does your leg feel right now?
Yeah, I think I'm 4 weeks out from surgery. I guess for people that don't know, I got my meniscus scoped, got it cleaned up. I tore it. But yeah, it's feeling good. I'm kind of getting acclimated back. I've been running around. It's feeling good. And 8 or 9 more days to the bowl. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to be ready to go.
All right, next question is from John Steppe.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, John?
I'm good, thanks. What was that like in terms of missing the Nebraska game, missing senior day? I'm sure that would have been a game that you have liked to be out there for.
Yeah, it was tough. I think I was 2 or 3 days out from surgery, so it was kind of awkward. I had to walk across the field. I was in my sweatpants, and it was still really cool to go out there and give my parents the rose, but missing the game was tough. I was trying to be a supportive teammate, of course. I was kind of going back and forth between the field and the locker room, because I was actually keeping my knee in a compression machine, hoping that I could keep the swelling down for a possible chance to play in the Big Ten championship, which would have been kind of a crazy turnaround. It would have been like 10 days or something. But yeah, it was tough being on the sideline, but I was just trying to be a supportive teammate as always and help out the tight ends. So.
All right, Sam, next question's from Chad Leistico.
Going back to the Minnesota game, just kind of curious. It was hard for us to tell which play you hurt your knee on. Was it that spinning 4th down catch, or did it happen before that, do you feel like?
It was on the 4th down catch. I turned up and I kind of just felt something pop in my knee. And unfortunately at the time, somebody on their team actually was hurt. So there was a media timeout or an injury timeout. And it's like, yeah, my knee kind of clicked and it felt a little weird, and went back in for one more play and then didn't feel too good. So came out.
All right, any more questions for Sam?
Yeah, I got one. Sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll
Scott,
put one
go
up
ahead.
again.
Sorry, I forgot to raise my
Go ahead.
hand here. I'm getting sloppy in the post-COVID days. Sam, have you had many conversations with agents, just kind of interviewing to see what you want to do come January 1st and beyond? Or have you got somebody lined up and you're just waiting to kind of sign once the bowl game's over with?
I'm really just focusing on the bowl game at the moment, Scott. I'm not trying to give you a completely plain answer, but I've really been focusing on my rehab. And last week I was finishing up with finals, and just trying to get back to playing this bowl game is really where all my effort is focused at the moment. Anything beyond that, January 1st and on, is kind of in the near future, and I'm not really paying too much attention to that, but I think I'm squared away. So.
All right, Chad.
We saw you hosting Eric All at the basketball game not too long ago, and
Yep.
obviously you've seen Luke Lachey really blossom in your absence. I know it's only been 7 quarters, but the guys played great. So it seems like you guys, as a tight ends room, maybe take great pride in kind of passing that down. I guess, what do you see in Luke going forward and what he's done in your absence? And what was your sales pitch to Eric All, who obviously signed on to join this team next year?
Yeah, starting with Luke. I mean, Luke has just taken tremendous strides since he's came in here as a freshman. Kind of a lanky, gangly kid. He was only like 220 pounds. Now he's walking around. He's all filled out. He's got a beard right now. So it's just really cool to see the strides that he's taken since he's gotten here. And kid, he's always asking questions, and I ask him for advice now too. It's awesome. But I'm really excited for him, and I think he has a bright future. Then with Eric, I don't know how much of a sales pitch it really was. He loves Cade. I think he was a roommate with Cade at Michigan. He said something to me. He's like, "You had 53 catches this year?" I was like, yeah. And I think I had 50 something last year too. And he goes, "Yeah, I had like 50 in my entire career at Michigan." I was like, "I don't know, man. I guess we get the ball to the tight ends." So he liked what he heard, and I'm really excited for Eric as well. He's a great guy. I think he'll fit in well.
Next question's from John Steppe.
How much did it mean to you to be a John Mackey finalist?
Yeah, it kind of caught me by surprise. I mean, I don't really pay much attention to stats or, I don't know, the hype really going around the country, but I thought it was really cool. I found out the morning that I had won the Qual Clark as well. So it was just like kind of a big morning for me and the team, and it was really cool. It's just like I came back for my senior year, and I had really high expectations for myself and high expectations for the team, and getting to achieve some of those individual goals that I set for myself. It meant a lot, and just hard work paying off, I guess.
Our next question is from Scott.
Sam, how much did playing X help you to kind of develop as a route runner this year, and maybe going forward, how will that kind of help you as you start navigating the next process? Just because you had a lot of film you could show doing a lot of different things while you're at Iowa.
Scott, I feel terrible because that was a long question, but you were a little fuzzy at the beginning. But now you're much more clear. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's all right.
Something about playing X, you said, and
yeah, just how did that help you kind of develop as a route runner? Because it's a different style of route, and then also how will that help you, as you start putting your film together and showing people what you can do when you get a real paycheck here going forward?
I think versatility is a word that comes to mind when I think of playing tight end. A guy that's out there on every single down. He's might be blocking on first and second down and making a big catch on third down. And playing X wasn't really much. It wasn't much new to me in terms of the concepts. I knew all the routes on the field, and it was just a matter of going out and getting reps at it and practicing it, really. So come game time, I mean, I've been in 1x3 formations before, being on the single side or being at number 1 in the 3x1 formation. It just was going out and practicing and actually doing the reps. So I hope it shows that I'm versatile moving forward, and shows that I can really play any spot on the field, I guess.
All right, Tom.
Sam, what have you seen from Addison Ostringa and some of the other young tight ends in this developmental period during the bowl prep?
Yeah, Addison and the other tight ends as well. They're really bright kids, big futures ahead of them. They're really just trying to take in as much information as they can right now. Bowl prep and especially spring ball are just great developmental times, as you said. Guys really take tremendous strides, and they get to dive deeper into the playbook and understand concepts in more full ways, and just really detail the nitty gritty details of routes and concepts and things like that. So guys are taking big strides, especially the young guys in the tight end room. We're excited for them.
All right, John.
For you personally, how much has this bowl period, these bowl practices, how helpful have they been for your development?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to get back first off, get my knee right and get it ready to play in the game, and then kind of understanding concepts. I'm out there a lot getting the physical reps. Sometimes that's not as good as being able to stand back 15 or 20 yards and see the entire field. It's kind of the difference of like being out there and having tunnel vision and only seeing what's right in front of your face, as opposed to being able to understand the concepts and what's going on across the entire field. So I've been taking in a lot of information too. It's been good for me.
All right. I think that's all the questions. All right. First question, Riley, is from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Riley, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Pretty good.
Good. Merry Christmas. Ask this to Sam too, but you obviously could have opted out of this game and they're not. Can you kind of describe your feelings about playing one more time in a Hawkeye uniform?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said last year, when I stayed, you only get so many opportunities to put on the black and gold, and I got to put black and gold down in Nashville. So it's an exciting spot for us to be in, and I'm excited to go out one last time with the boys. To hopefully cap off with a win and end my career on a W. So.
All right, next question is from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Riley, as you're kind of winding down your career here, and you had last year you played in the bowl game and you guys lost at the end, and then of course what happened 4 weeks ago against Nebraska. Just is this kind of that? What's kind of the mindset of the team at this point? Just knowing that I'm sure you want to end this year with a good conclusion.
Yeah, I think, Nebraska hurt obviously, and it hurt everyone who put time and effort into, the preparation in the game. And I think, we've kind of taken that, we had a few days off during this time period, the past 4 weeks, but, whenever we're in here, that bitter taste of our last game, has kind of been driving us, this during this bowl prep. So, yeah, I'd say, kind of like the team atmosphere, how we're all feeling, I think we're ready to actually, go against Kentucky again. And, we've been going against each other in practice and stuff, and it's been getting chippy and competitive. So, I think we're ready for an opponent, other than, Iowa versus Iowa.
All right, next question is from John Steppe.
Hey, Riley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So it's a rough game against Nebraska for some of the younger cornerbacks. How have you seen TJ and Jamison kind of bounce back from that?
Yeah, I remember, talking to TJ after the game, and he was apologizing to me, and he was apologizing to everyone on the team. And I told him, I said, it's not one person who lost that game, and I made sure to kind of talk to him like that, because that happened to me Purdue my freshman year. And so I wanted to make sure, I told him, I said, you can make what happened at Nebraska either, tear you away. And that's why you weren't a good football players because of that game, or you can make it, that's my why. I'm never going to do that again. And, they're going to ask in 4 years, what was the turning point? How did you become such a great football player at Iowa? And hopefully it's because, after that Nebraska game, he turned it around, and I've seen him turn it around, and he's been working really hard, and he's been very consistent. So he's been doing a great job in bowl prep.
All right, next question is from Tom Kakert.
Riley, what have you seen from the guys throwing the football in practice so far with Joe, and in particular how he's kind of commanded things, and what do you expect from him in the bowl game?
Yeah, he's thrown some good balls. He's mobile, which we're not typically used to that. Iowa versus Iowa, so that's it puts a little spin on things. So I think that's kind of the thing that's been getting us a little bit is having a mobile quarterback back there. And they've thrown in some different stuff for him as well. So he's been doing a great job, and he's been stepping up into the role that he needs to, and that's all we can ask for him. So
all right, next question is from Mark Froon.
Hey, Riley, in portal time here, a lot of teams are dealing with this, but with the turnover of the last few weeks and the various opt-outs, just how's it felt first? And then secondly, how much more important does kind of some steady leadership like the leadership maybe you provide how much more important does that become when things are kind of all over the place?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's been kind of an unprecedented, past couple of weeks, with the transfer portal, NIL, people getting paid a lot of money, and then people just not playing in bowl games anymore. So, it's definitely a different landscape for college football. And, I think, guys like me and Campbell, Sam LaPorta, we've been doing it the entire year, but it's very important to make sure that we keep on leading and showing the younger guys what's right and what's wrong, because we're not going to be there next year, and we're going to need some of these younger guys to step up and lead. So this is our last shot to do it, and the past 4 weeks we've been doing it, and hopefully we leave a mark. So
Next question is from Corey Breda.
Riley, I want to ask you about DeSean Lee. Sometimes we forget about him because he signed late in this past class. Can you talk about his development? What have you seen from him during bowl prep?
Yeah, he's grown a lot through fall camp, throughout the season, and then during our developmental practices the past couple of weeks. He's starting to understand the defense a little bit better, and the thing about DeSean is he's got great feet, great hips, and that helps him, at the line with jamming and pressing and stuff. So I think those are some of his strengths, and now it's just kind of getting comfortable with the defense.
All right, Scott Docterman.
Riley, I wanted to ask you about Xavier Wampa. Has he been on the first unit now with Kayvon out, and what's kind of how does his skill set translate to this defense? Whether it's in the bowl game or the next couple of years in front of him.
Yeah, he's been taking reps at strong. We had him at free, and then we moved him to strong. He's been doing really well. It's just getting into different game situations and stuff, and that'll come with time, but he's got great vision, and as you guys know, he's a great athlete too, and that always helps in the back end, especially when you're playing corner. You got a guy back there you can trust. So it's just going through different route concepts that that you don't necessarily learn through the playbook, if that makes sense. So it's just kind of playing football and getting used to each other on the field. But he's been doing a great job.
As far as your process for the next level, which starts January 1st, what's kind of next on your agenda? I mean, I assume you already have an agent lined up, probably there in Nashville. And then after that, where are you going to go to train?
Yeah. So I'm going to end up in Fort Myers, training at X3 down there. So I'll be doing that for a few months, but the first couple of weeks I'll get down there, and then I'll go to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. After Mobile, I'll go back, train and stuff, and then I'll be the combine, and then pro day. So I'm excited to get down there, and it just snowed a bunch, as you guys know, and so I'm gonna be able to dodge some of that for a good couple months.
Good deal.
All right, I think that should do it. Thank you, Riley.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, Deontay, questions, guys? Raise your hand on the right, and we will go from there. All right, Deontay, first question's from Scott Docterman.
Yep.
Deontay, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I wanted to ask you just kind of about how you assessed the season. You had you were out the first 6 games, I think it was 5 or 6 games, and then came back, and kind of how did you process the way you played, and then kind of what's been your post season process as far as assessing where you are and what you want to do, what you want to do this coming bowl prep, and then next year as well.
Yeah. When I came back, I think I came back and contributed pretty well to the team in different aspects of the game. Like I've said in previous interviews, I think I left a couple plays out there that I could have made and should have made for the team. But it's all with the growing pains and finally getting out there and kind of getting back into the groove of things. And with this bowl prep, I'm really just trying to get back to catching without the brace I've been playing with, and just getting more comfortable with my injury and being comfortable with my injury and just healing up from that. So bowl prep been going pretty good, playing without the brace, and kind of feeling like almost back to normal.
All right, next question is from Tom Kakert.
Hey, Deontay, wanted to ask you about different quarterback. Joe is out there at the quarterback position. What have you seen from him, and how's he operating and run the offense?
Joe's looking really good out there. He's making some great throws that kind of make you step back for a second and be like, wow, he could probably be something pretty good. And he's just commanding the offense really well. We asked him to do a really big job coming in here after being a third string quarterback and now have he as a starting realm. So it's a pretty big task for him, but I think he handled it really well. Every day since we've been with this practice, he's been getting better and better each day. So it's pretty fun for me to be out there and just watch him and see how he's getting better every day. And he's pretty mobile, so that's kind of helps us in that type of department as well.
All right, next question is from Corey Breda.
Hey, Deontay. A couple of your teammates in the wide receiver room jumped to the portal here recently with the window opening. You're obviously a ways away from home. You're an East Coast kid.
Yeah.
What made you double down on Iowa and stick with things with this era of the portal?
It's a pretty good question. I kind of just had confidence in the coaching staff, and when I signed my letter of intent 4 years ago, 3 years ago now, I told Iowa I'd give them 4 years here, and I kind of stick to my word and stick my years out here. And I just feel like next year the offense is going to be changing the direction which I want it to be going to. So I spoke with all the coaches and had some great conversations, and with everything I've heard and everything I felt and how practice kind of been going, I feel pretty confident in the change that we're looking to seek next year.
All right, next question is from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Deontay, you mentioned a brace you've been playing with. Obviously, we know about the broken wrist, but is this a different injury? Was it, and when did it happen?
Nah, since I came back from the injury, I've been having, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the game I had like the thing on my wrist kind of helped me from.
Okay.
It's the same injury, nothing new. I'm just kind of working away from using the brace to kind of just, it's a good time to do it in bowl prep, not getting too much contact and stuff. So I'm just trying to get back to catching without the brace on again to my normal self.
All right, next question is from John Steppe.
Hey, Deontay, what's it going to be like in 2023 catching passes from Cade McNamara?
It's going to be pretty cool. He's a proven winner. He beat us in the championship last year, so he proved himself to win some big games. And he's a great player. Seen some film on him. Cool dude. I've talked to him multiple times now. So it's a good pickup for us, and I think that he's going to help us push this offense in the right direction.
All right, next question is from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Deontay, it takes quite a leap of faith to stick with this team, after, I think 4 receivers who have starting experience have transferred in the last 4 years. What specifically do they tell you about the offense and the ways it will change? And I assume it's more intricate rather than, something we'll see, big picture. But in what ways are you more confident now going forward in this offense than maybe you were during the season?
We just been having a lot more meetings, I think. So we're putting each other on the same page, just like more with quarterback to receiver. So I feel like with those meetings, we've kind of been able to establish like positions on the field where we know like we'll get the ball or we won't get the ball. And that's kind of been really big to like understand the game and kind of makes it easier for us to find like open spaces on the field. Whereas like I feel like a lot of times like this year we kind of like ran and covered ourselves. Whereas with like little alters and stuff we were putting through, we kind of been changing the offense to allow us to be more free as receivers and quarterbacks, and that's kind of been putting us on the same page. So a lot of the throws and misses we had this in games before, I think we're going to kind of change those with the way our offense is shifting around.
All right, next question is from Chad Leistico.
With a brand new quarterback, a person might expect really dialing down the game plan. Have you guys discussed, whether it's going to be business as usual down there in Nashville or, kind of a scaled back playbook with Joe? There's no way he can know as much as Spencer, obviously, at this point.
Yeah, definitely. It's still, at the end of the day, it's Iowa football. We're going to still do what we do, run the ball, play action, passes, and stuff like that. So definitely we're going to scale the offense down, and we're not going to have as many play calls and long play calls coming into the huddle and stuff like that. It's going to be more simplistic, but still find different ways to get into things we want to get into. So definitely won't be as much as like the play calls we had with Spencer, but it's definitely still a good amount of play calls that allows us to play the game how we want to play it.
All right, next question is from Scott.
Yeah, Deontay, I just want to ask you about just going, it's kind of been a blur these last couple of weeks, but you've got a bowl to play in 9 days. Is there an excitement there, for you and personally, because it's your first chance to actually get a play in one, or what's kind of the mindset right now that you have, for the next 9 days?
Yeah, every game for me is an exciting game because you never know when this game can be took away from you. So with the kind of injuries I've been through, it's kind of been every time I can step on the field, practice or game, I'm always excited and always ready to go. So it's definitely going to be a fun time for me to go down to Nashville and play this game. So yeah, definitely would be a good time for me. And I'm happy to finally be able to play in the bowl game because I've been injured for last year, bowl game and stuff.
All right, John.
As you're going through these practices leading up to the bowl game, anything particularly that you're working on individually from a development standpoint?
Yeah, just certain routes I'm trying to get down pat more. Some stuff like comebacks and stuff like that, stuff that I feel like didn't run the best throughout the 6 games I've played. So I kind of been working on more of just getting that out of my breaks. And like I said before, just with the catching out the breaks. So I've been doing a lot of just working on my hands again, making sure I'm getting more comfortable with without playing with it.
All right, I think we should be good to go. Thank you for your time, Deontay.
Appreciate it. You guys have a happy holiday.
Good. All right, Sebastian, we'll jump right into questions. The first one will be from Corey Breda.
Hey, Sebastian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. I had a conversation with a guy named John Nestor yesterday and asked him if there was a DB that has played at Iowa or that currently plays at Iowa that he looks up to. And he said Sebastian Castro. I know you guys were from similar, very close in proximity near Chicago. Maybe just speak to your relationship with John. And one thing he said he admired about you is you play with no fear. And kind of where does that come from?
I feel like that just came from like where I came from and how we the attitude we had whenever we played. And it's something I feel like everyone can have. It's just like it's like something like it's like I can relate it to anything in life, There's just like a thin line between like just taking action whenever you're scared or whatever, So don't get me wrong, whenever I'm playing football, and it's contact sports, so I'm always I'm human just like everyone else. So I'm like that fear comes with it. It's just I embrace it. So that's always fun.
All right, next question from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Sebastian, I think you're listed as the first string cash and first string strong safety now with Kayvon departing. And I know you can't play both at the same time. Are you planning to kind of flex between both depending on if you're 4-2-5 and 4-3 in the bowl game? Is that kind of the idea?
I mean, that's what it's looking like right now. So, I mean, we have young guys as well. So, and we're just mixing everyone in the rotation as well. So, but that's what it's looking like.
Next question.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Well, just to follow up we haven't seen you play safety, but that's where you've kind of been groomed, right? At strong safety.
Oh yeah. I mean, I came in playing a lot of strong safety as well. So, and playing the strong position and the cast position, it kind of correlates together. So it's kind of an easier transition.
Tom Caker.
Sebastian, this has been your kind of most extensive playing time this year. What has this been like, and has the game kind of slowed down for you? What have you learned about yourself?
Well, I could say I just learned from my mistakes, just embracing whatever's going to come with it, because mistakes are going to happen. It's part of the game. And I could just, from the first start I had and until now, I've noticed and just gained a lot more confidence in a player.
John Steppe.
Between the cash spot and the strong safety spot, is there one that you enjoy more than the other or feel like you're better at than the other?
I wouldn't personally say no. I mean, I love playing football, so whatever I'm at I'm gonna be grateful for either or. So I wish I gave you one answer, but yeah, that's what it is.
Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Sebastian, one thing I've noticed about you is you're a pretty extreme hitter. Is that something that you grew up with, that you were always that way, or is it something that you kind of acquired, over time, and maybe taught you how to hit the way you hit?
I mean, I started playing football when I was 8, and every day we would always practice on tackling, and so I just kind of learned and adapted. So I wasn't always like the most physical kid, but it kind of grew on me, and that's who I am now. So
John Steppe.
Usually you've got the 24-hour rule to be able to look past losses, but was it any more difficult getting past that Nebraska game when you don't have another game for another month?
yeah, because just knowing what that loss entailed and where we could have been, it gave us a lot more time to just think about what could have been. So, just like I know me and my teammates and the whole staff really, we just thought about what could have been. So it kind of hurt, but it's part of the game.
And then as you take over for Kayvon's spot, anything in particular that you've taken away from Kayvon?
Oh yeah, he's one thing I noticed about Kayvon is he was very in tune with like the details, and he just always seemed like he knew where to be and how to get to the spot where he was supposed to be and win. So I've definitely paid attention to that.
Chad.
So Will Levis obviously is opted out of the game. He's not playing. So what do you, how much film do you have on the backup guy? And what's the preparation like against somebody you don't have a lot of film on?
So I know, I want to say, I don't want to mess up his name. I think Kyson Shire, could be wrong, but he played against South Carolina. So we have one game on him, but that's not enough information for us to determine what they're going to run. And they have more backup running backs, quarterbacks that can play in the game. So we have no idea what they might come out with, but we're just going to have to prepare whenever the January 1st comes. So it's hard to tell what exactly they're going to do.
December 31st. Don't be late. You said January 1st.
Yeah, I won't try.
All right. I think that's good. Thank you, Sebastian.
Okay, thank you.
Now the docket will be from Tom Caker.
Hey, Joe, hope you're doing well. Wondered how this experience has been like taking over as the starting quarterback going into a bowl game.
Pretty good, pretty smooth so far. Just, practicing, trying to get as many reps as possible. That's most important for me, just trying to get comfortable with everything I have to do on the offensive side of the ball, doing my job the right way. So.
All right. Next question is from John Steppe.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. What's it been like in terms of trying to kind of have, after working on scout teams so much, now working with the playbook and taking those first team reps?
Yeah, it's different than scout for sure. Different pace, scout, you would go 100% and kind of like preparing for Kentucky right now. On the offense, you would kind of go 50%, maybe little less than 100%. So it's different, but it's also, a lot more mental for me, obviously. But it's been good, just getting comfortable and getting the reps in, as many reps as possible has been huge for me.
Next question is from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Joe, how many practices have you guys had so far? And, can you maybe give us a little sense of how rough it was at first and how much you feel yourself getting better each and every day?
Yeah, we've had about 7-8 practices so far. And yeah, first practice compared to, let's say today or like last practice, definitely a huge difference. It was kind of, the first practice was my first time getting in there and getting used to everything. I was on scout before the entire year. So, when they told me, I was going to be the guy, it was kind of just throwing me in the fire right away and going from there. But yeah, day one was a learning curve for sure.
All right. Next question is from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, this has been an interesting process for you because I know last year you were on scout team and a lot of people were really high on you and you had an opportunity to compete in the spring and ended up third. I mean, what's kind of this last calendar year been like for you? Has it been kind of a whirlwind? And then, how much have you leaned on Spencer through this period right now?
Yeah, it has been a whirlwind, but Spencer, he's been helping me out a lot. He's like a third coach out there, another quarterback coach. He helps me out. He talks to me every single play, and I need that. And he's been helping me out a lot. He's been great. So I really appreciate him for helping me out. And he knows the offense very well, obviously. So just getting input from him, not only from Brian or whoever else, but from him as well, that helps me out a lot.
Next question is from Corey Breda.
Hey, Joe. Kind of a two-part question for me. So first of all, in the event that the called play in the Music City Bowl is not ideal when you get up to the line of scrimmage, how much freedom will you have to change plays? I guess take the first part first.
How much freedom do I have to change plays, you're saying?
How much comfortability, how much freedom are the coaching staff, how much are they giving you as far as flexibility if you get up to the line of scrimmage and you're not comfortable with the look?
Pretty flexible. I think that's more of like preparing for, getting into our preparation, but because we haven't gone over too much on that, but I think they feel comfortable with me changing plays.
Okay. And then what would you say your greatest strength is on the football field?
I would say extending plays. When the play's not working or something happens, goes wrong, being able to create and make plays, I would say.
All right, next question is from Tom Caker.
Joe, I was wondering your thoughts on Cade McNamara coming to the University of Iowa and how that impacts you.
Not too much. I haven't put much thought into that, to be honest with you, because my focus is on this bowl game. That's most important to me right now. That's, it's been a while, since I've ever started in a game. So my focus is on this right now. So.
All right, next question is from John Steppe.
I imagine this is an opportunity that you've been dreaming of for a while. What was the moment like when you found out that you were going to be QB1 for this game?
It was kind of a shock, and it was just a mix of a lot of emotions, but called my parents right away and they were happy for me and excited. And I was excited for the opportunity, as I am right now. But yeah, it was kind of like a shock at first, but like it would be for anyone, but it was pretty cool, but also like nerve-wracking at the same time, like, oh crap, but yeah.
Chad Leistico.
Yeah, Joe. How scaled back might the offense be with you? I mean, obviously, we understand that you don't have Spencer's knowledge base yet to this point. I mean, is it kind of your preference that you have kind of a narrowed down like set of plays? What percentage of playbook are you comfortable with?
I'm comfortable with basically everything. Just throughout this bowl prep, there's just there's a lot of reps, and you need that as any position, but especially a quarterback, because it's a lot of mental stuff that you have to focus on. And it's just the reps have been helping me out a lot, and I've been getting comfortable with everything, and so the playbook is pretty wide open. So yeah.
Our next question is from Mike Kloss.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good, thanks. I was wondering how you view this game next week, just as far as what it means for your future.
I would say it means a lot, just like any game would mean a lot, no matter what game it is. But this game in particular, being my first career start, it's pretty big, I'm just going to go out there and not really think about it too much. I'm just going to go out there just like it's any other day, like it's practiced, and just roll. But, it's obviously a big opportunity for me, and, I'm excited for it, and, looking to do some things out there. So,
Well, if I might follow up on that, when you say about doing some things, in your mind, ideally, would you like to run with the ball X number of times a game? I know that you consider yourself a dual threat guy.
Yeah, I'm cool with running the ball. If the call comes in and it's me, I'm ready to go. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next question is from Mark Freund.
Hi, Joe. Has there been any uncertainty or just adjusting to the lack of certain guys that have left for the transfer portal? Did that kind of affect preparation in any way, or is it kind of a situation where you've had enough practices without these guys by the time you get to the bowl game that it may not make as much of a difference as we might think?
It's just like these guys I've been playing with and like with scout team, it's just like that next man up mentality, right? And to your point, we're pretty comfortable with whoever's in there, or at least I am. So I've been working with everybody. So
All right, Joe, we'll go 2 more questions. First one is from Tom Caker.
Joe, there's a lot of talk from your teammates that we've spoken to about your mobility, maybe some wrinkles in the playbook. Is that kind of the game plan, is to use your mobility more in this bowl game?
Yeah, a little bit. We've added some stuff to the playbook that we haven't ran ever. And yeah, it's pretty good. I feel very confident about it. I'm excited about it. So yeah.
All right, Joe, last question will be from Scott Docterman.
Is there a concerted effort to try to minimize everything that you've got to try to put together mentally? Because I can see where this situation could be very overwhelming. And in particular, I mean, Spencer is like on a calculus level of knowing this offense, and I'm not sure you're where you are. You're probably not quite there. But how do you prevent from being overwhelmed? Did you have like a breakdown with Brian after practice to go over everything that you saw, what you like, maybe what seems a little bit too much, or have you reached that phase yet?
Yeah, I mean, all that comes from just reps in practice, getting as many reps as possible to get comfortable with what you're doing, but also, like you said, getting in the meetings and making sure you're on the same page, making sure you're correcting what you screwed up in practice, and then getting it right next practice, most importantly. So yes, it's in the meetings, it's in practice, it's wherever. So.
All right, thank you for your time, Joe.
Thank you, guys.